This one's working. Obviously, we had some issues with our other video and there was no sound, so we're going to try again. So this is talking about why rent-to-own is better than a realtor for getting rid of a property. So I'll tell you first how I started looking at properties this way with a rent-to-own exit strategy. We were doing a fix and flip, and originally we had the possibility of making about $50,000 after the realtor's fees, after holding costs, after everything, including the retail cost of a contractor, because we don't normally do fix and flips in our business. So we were paying full retail for the contractors. We don't have a crew that's on staff. But even after that, we were still looking at $50,000 in profit, which would be amazing. But then there were and this contractor is usually really close to on budget and really close to on time. So we had a small overage planned, but nothing major. Unfortunately, this time it was major. So we ended up way over budget, but more importantly, way over time. And instead of the project finishing at the end of July, it finished at the end of September. And where we live, that is when the market starts to dip because we get colder weather. So it was not an ideal time to sell a property, and we were looking at only making about $15,000 after realtor's fees and everything else. And I mean, that was still good. Hey, I'm not going to sneeze at $15,000, but you know, that was our worst case scenario when we were looking at doing this project, and I don't like the worst case scenario. I prepare for that, but I like to do better. So I was looking at different ways to improve our bottom line on this project. And strangely enough, I had been doing rent to own for people for many years, and as a core part of our investment business. So I decided to look at this property. Why can't I do a rent to own on this one? And instead of doing just the basic profit of $15,000 through a realtor, here's what it would look like. We would have had skipped the realtor's fees by doing rent to own, so that would have saved us about $15,000. We would have had that profit that we would have got either way of $15,000, plus we would have a mortgage pay down over the 2 years for a rent to own term, because a lot of rent to owns are about 2 years. So we would have had mortgage pay down of about $14,000. Then on top of that, we would be able to have a higher price in the future, probably about $20,000. And really, it depends on what you can agree on with the tenant on what the final price will be. So it could be $20,000, it could be $50,000 more. It really depends on the property and the market. But you add all of that up, and it made a total profit of $64,000. So here's the difference. Oh wait, does that show up backwards? That's weird. Anyway, so instead of selling through a realtor and only making $15,000, by doing a rent-to-own on the property, we would have $64,000 just by doing a 2-year rent-to-own. So that's a huge difference. So now basically every property that I want to get rid of, I look at it as a potential rent-to-own, because there's always that possibility of saving the realtor's fees, having more mortgage pay down, and getting a higher price a year or two from now than I can get today. So, and you don't have to be a real estate investor to make this work for you. And whether it's your own personal residence or a property you inherited, or it could even be that, yeah, you are a landlord and this property just isn't making you money, but you just want to get rid of it. So anybody can do it on pretty much any property in pretty much any market. You just need a little bit of help to figure out how, and that's where I come in. I have been asked by a lot of people to show them and help them with rent-to-owns on their own personal residence or rental properties, and to help them, you know, unload these things. And I would love to help more people do that. So that's why I'm teaching that to people. And if you want more information, check us out at realestatewealth.sherrylyn.ca, and we'll put the link below in the comments. And yeah, it'll give you a free article on giving a bit more detail about this, and then you can stay tuned for more information. And I'd love to help you out with your own rent to own. Like I say, you don't have to be a real estate investor to make this work for you and get $64,000 instead of $15,000. So thanks for tuning in, and check out the link in the comments. Thanks.